right, good Saturday afternoon, everybody. How you doing? I am doing two things on the grill today. I am doing Angela's tri-tip, one of the recipes in my book, the Barbecue Joe Chronicles. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm doing some portobello mushrooms. Now these are almost like a salad. Now, I've got two of them here, and this will feed, 3 or 4 people. You just cut them in half when they're done. But basically what's on here, in this little bowl here, I put some tomatoes. I cut up the stem of this thing on both of these, and then I stick in some purple onion. And then I mix it all together with some kind of a vinaigrette. And you can put anything in this. This is just the way I do it. This is a champagne pear vinaigrette, but you can just do a balsamic vinaigrette. You could do just a plain vinaigrette or oil and vinegar. You can do it in lots of different ways depending on what flavor you want to end up with. And the other thing I put in there is a little bit of olive oil. Then I take this, mix this stuff all together, and then I put it on top like this. I finish it with usually something like a Parmesan cheese. Or feta cheese. Today we're just doing some Parmesan cheese because this champagne pear vinaigrette actually has a little bit of feta in it. So on top we're just going to give it a little bit of a finish, and gives it a nice look, and the flavor is just delish. It's amazing. So we got those going, and on the tri-tip, Angela's tri-tip, what we got going here, as I said, is Italian seasonings. And we add a little bit of Greek seasoning to it. Then we put on top of that, we put some olive oil and a little bit of balsamic. And the balsamic, it's a wet marinade, as you can see here in the bottom. It's real wet, and it's been sitting in solitary confinement now for, just probably right around 28 hours. I did this yesterday morning. Friday morning, it's Saturday afternoon now, and just got back from golf. Had a bad day at golf. Shot an 88. Trying to get it down around the 80 mark. My kid shot 71 today. He's getting really good. So you'll probably be seeing him out one of these colleges here in another year or so. But anyway, so that's what we're doing here, and we're going to let this thing cool down to room temperature now, or should I say warm up to room temperature. We're going to let this thing come up to room temperature now. Going to let it sit out for about an hour and a half, and then we're going to throw this bad boy on. But before we do that, we'll throw on the potatoes because they take about an hour and 10 minutes. So when we're within 30-35 minutes, then we throw this on. And we put on, about 5 minutes before we put on that, we put on the wood chips. Now you can use mesquite or hickory or oak with a big piece of heavy-duty meat like this. I personally like mesquite. Now mesquite chunks, to me, are easier to manage. The flame up is less. You just put those bad boys right on and then just throw them, if they start burning, stick them on a piece of foil. That's all you got to do. And then at the very end, now I'm going to flip this thing about every 8 minutes for a total of about 2 flips on each side. And then I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to take it off the grill, let it settle down so the juices kind of redistribute throughout the piece of meat. And then at the very end, when we're getting ready to serve it on the table, I'm going to cut this thing from the center out. And I'll cut those center pieces so that we've got basically the rare pieces in the middle, medium pieces as you get further to the outside, and then when you get to the outside edge, you're talking about done. So rare, medium, and done. And that's what you basically have depending on the person that's coming. Now if you've got everybody in the family or everybody that's coming over that likes it done, then the suggestion would be to cut it while it's on the grill so that everything is done and evenly kind of at the same kind of rare, medium, or done-ish. So that's another suggestion. But basically that's what we have. We're going to go out to the grill here in about an hour and a half. Right now I'm going to go into CG, a little cognitive blankness. And cognitive blankness is in the book. It'll be described to you fully once you've read it. So you need to get it because that's in chapter 2 of the book. Chapter 1 is the 11,000 year history of barbecue, and until you've actually gotten this book, you really don't understand where the history of barbecue comes from. But I encourage you to get a pair of these, one for you and one for your best friend, and that's what we're going. I'll see you out at the grill.